yeah, it was unreal. So
Wow.
anyways, so something to definitely think about, not trying to do, even though we all try to do it. Okay, so I know that you look at a lot of lab testing, and there's obviously different health markers. So what specific lab tests and markers, do you often look at to kind of get to the root cause of somebody's brain fog?
Yeah, I love labs. I'm a
You're
data
a lab
person,
girl.
but I don't rely on labs. I will say that.
No,
I've really found that
good markers.
we have to look at symptoms. We have to look at the person's lived experience. Because if you come to me, and even though, like, sadly, this is a very common experience for people, is they go to the doctor and they're like, everything's normal. And they're like, well, why do I feel like garbage? So labs matter. But anyway, the full thyroid panel I talked about earlier, and I say full, again, if anyone ever has questions about what that looks like or needs more information from me, just message me, or email us. But I'll just say that doesn't just mean TSH and T4, which is pretty much all you typically will get. We've got to get deeper in like the types of conversion and things like that for the hormone. Because thyroid really power your brain energy, the hormones. And then a full iron panel, like I was speaking about earlier, iron status, ferritin, low iron really basically kind of starves your brain of oxygen. And I do see so many women and people come to me with low ferritin. That's a piece of their fatigue as well, like they're just total body fatigue. We talked about B12, and also I like vitamin D. So those are just a couple of like basically nutrient markers. Those are both really important for your mood and your nerves. So there's, nerve function, which is part of brain function. And then the last thing I want to highlight, just as like, again, I run like 70 markers on people, but this is just some big stuff to look at. The last sort of simple thing to think about is insulin. Fasting insulin is the marker. If you never had another marker run in your life, or you only had one you could pick when you go to the doctor, I would do that above every other possible marker on a lab. Fasting insulin is much more important than glucose, A1C. Those are great and they're going to be done, but fasting insulin is really going to give you the idea of whether or not you are insulin resistant or pre-diabetic or diabetic. So those aside, we've got, for women in midlife, I love a hormone panel that includes estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, DHEAS. Those are really helpful just to see where they're at. And then last thing I want to highlight real quick is just the gut health piece, because if the gut's inflamed, that's going to inflame the brain. That's like a two-way highway. It's a bidirectional relationship between the
Yeah.
two. And then also we create so much of our serotonin in our gut that we need that, that to be healthy so that we have healthy levels of serotonin for our mood and memory and things like that. And then this is kind of a side little like fun fact. So serotonin also converts from there. Next level is melatonin. And melatonin, not only does it help sleep, but it's also the most abundant intracellular antioxidant.